there are some people that are still finding their way here, but they'll just slip in. Thanks for being patient. My name is TALIE Weir. I will be your facilitator tonight for our workshop, Discovering Identity, Uncovering the Masterpiece You Already Are. Thank you guys for being here. We are going to have fun tonight. This is going to be an interactive co-creation that we will create together, so I promise not to stand up here and talk at you guys for the next few hours. It's going to be interactive. There's going to be music. You're going to get up out of your seats. We'll have a mingle at one point. There will be reflective exercises. And then at the end, we're going to close with a closed eye exercise, which actually has been one of the most beautiful, powerful experiences of my life. When I've done that work, it's been incredibly healing, really, really beautiful, and I'm super excited to share it with you guys tonight. So welcome. I want to start by telling you a little bit about myself. Where's Shelby? Shelly, where are you, babe? Cool. So you can sit right here by Lisa. That'd be perfect. Tell you a little bit about myself. I am a mom. I've got 3 amazing kiddos, and they're all really unique and different from each other, and I love seeing who they are and drawing out the authenticity of who they are, and just seeing the uniquenesses in them. And that's one of the things that I love doing. I'm a life coach as well, and I love seeing the authentic self in my clients and drawing that out, and seeing their passions come alive, seeing their joy in what they're made for, who they're made to be. Excuse that. Yours is getting it nice and cozy in your breast. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. You flip and let me know what's up next. So some of the things that I think you guys are going to leave here with tonight is a greater sense of freedom, a greater sense of joy, a greater sense of authenticity, and a deeper appreciation for who you are and who you've been made to be. And I want you guys to think about the way you come in here tonight, with the chaos of the day and the different things that are going on, and think about leaving those doors tonight filled up with connection to yourself and to each other, filled up with more freedom, more joy, and more connected to who you're most authentically made to be in the world. So yeah, that's what we're up to tonight. One of the things I want to go over with you guys, it's really about creating a context and a safe space for us to be able to connect together. So, hey Bill, would you mind turning that down a little bit? I feel like it might be a little bit distracting. Thanks so much. So, in order to create a safe space with each other, we want to have confidentiality. So, whatever it is that is shared in this room, I'm asking that you guys keep it in this room. So, if you choose to share something vulnerably from your heart with people in this room, then you want to know that it's going to stay here. And if you want to share your story, your experience outside of this room, then that's amazing and beautiful. But I just ask you to keep other people's experiences here. Also, this is a judgment-free zone. So as you see judgment come up, either about yourself or toward other people, it's something that as that comes in, you can just let that go. That's really beautiful. Hey, there's something really distracting. I think it's music in the space.
It is, yeah.
I think it might be right over there by your Alexa. I'm like, what is this going on? Awesome. That's fantastic. Also, giving advice. So if somebody shares something that they're struggling with or going through, this is going to be a space where you can just let that be there. Like, we're not trying to fix each other or give advice. That's something that can cause things to feel unsafe really quick. If you're like, oh, let me tell you what I think you should do about that. This is just going to be an evening where you can share whatever it is that's coming up, and you can just be in that. And if you want input on it, you can ask for that. People can talk to you at break or afterwards. And then keeping the focus on ourselves. So this is a chance for us to grow, and I just acknowledge each one of you guys for being here tonight. There are a lot of other things you could be doing on a Thursday evening, and you've chosen to come to a workshop, to lean into developing yourself more, to lean into growth, to lean into more authenticity and connection and knowing who you most truly are. So I want to acknowledge you, and I thank you for being here. I love what we're going to create together. I love that there is no accident that each person that's here tonight is in this room. You guys are here for a reason. I can't see you. And so I think it's just really perfect. And you guys have been on my heart and in my prayers for weeks now. I've been excited to see who it is that shows up here and what it is that's going to get created for you. I really, really believe that it's going to be powerful, that it's going to be beautiful, that you're going to walk out of here with value and connection to yourself and to others, that you're going to walk out of here with more freedom and more joy. If everybody is aligned to these ground rules, would you raise your hand? If you're up for keeping it confidential and safe and judgment-free and advice-free. Amazing. Thank you, guys. So our journey tonight, the things that we're going to be covering are authentic self. So looking at who we most truly are, the best version of ourselves. We're going to be talking about our false self and the things that get in the way of being our true self, the masks that we wear and why we have those, the prices that we pay for wearing masks, and then talking about authentic connection. I started to tell you a little bit about me, and then I got distracted with the sound. So I started to say I'm a mom of 3 kids. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and actually my mom and my 3 sisters are here. Woo! But they have been an incredible support to us growing up. Really I feel like I've been so blessed to have parents who let us explore a lot of what we've been made to be and try things and, encourage us in them. And then just the support too over the years, both growing up and into my adult life, and the challenges and really a lot of painful situations. And my family has been incredibly supportive and loving. And I really would not be doing what I'm doing today if it weren't for you guys. So thank you. I really would. Yeah, go ahead. I started to say I am a life coach, so that's one of the things that I am super passionate about. I'm getting to live something that is my passion and my career, which is a huge blessing. So that means I get to work with entrepreneurs and community leaders to lean into this place of authenticity and into what they're made for, and then get to unlock the passions that are in them and empower them to have incredible impact in the world while also looking at their whole life holistically so that their relationships are also amazing and their health and wellness is there, and spirituality and inner life and personal development, all of the pieces of their life they get to be intentional with. So it's beautiful. I love what I do. See if there's anything that I missed. I can't read it. Oh yeah, and I do retreat facilitation. So that is something I also am super passionate about. Some of us are going to be heading to Italy here in a few weeks. Super excited about that. So retreats, like 3 or 4 of those a year too. And I love that. I think it's really amazing to get away with people out of their context, and be able to create the connection and refreshing, especially for powerful leaders who are up to big things in the world. I think if they don't have that rhythm of rest built into their life, it's easy to burn out way earlier than they need to and lose perspective even. So it's a great way to clarify and be connected. So with that, I'm going to tell you why I chose this topic. So authenticity, for me, I think one of the biggest questions that we can answer in our lives is, who am I? Who am I? Why am I here? I think when we get that question answered, so much just starts to flow out of that, which is me. There is a quote by Michelangelo, and he said, and he was talking about the statue of David. Some of you guys have seen that. We get to see that next month. I'm really excited. But he said, I saw the angel in the marble, and I carved until I set him free. So for me, a lot of my life I spent thinking that my identity was somewhere up here, and it was for me to figure out and create. And I've realized over the years that really who I am, most authentically, I'm already complete. I'm already completely who I've been made to be. And for me, it's about discovering what that is, not about trying to create it and figure out what's going to get me the most, whatever it is I want, approval or connection or affirmation or attention. Like a lot of my life, I feel like I spent almost like I have this blank canvas and I'm like painting who I think I'm supposed to be and trying to get feedback. Like, oh, okay, cool, responsibility gets me a lot of attention. Like, let's do more of that. Or like, oh, cool, when I wear this outfit, a lot of people are like, you look great. So I'm like, wear more stuff like that. You know, I'm like making up who I think I'm supposed to be. It's very outside of myself. And I've had a lot of experiences, but one of them, I felt like it was during a time of prayer. I had this really vivid picture that came kind of out of nowhere. And it was a picture of me standing, it was almost like I was in an attic or something, and everything was dark around me. And I was standing in front of this mirror, and there was just this beam of light right down on me. And I was wearing this amazingly beautiful white gown. And what I noticed really clearly was all of these like clothes and like coats and hats and layers all around me on the floor around me. And I felt like I just had this real sense that it was like when I take all these layers off that I wear, that I think either protect me and keep me safe, or I think make me more presentable for people. When I take all of that off, like what is underneath is the authentic me, and it's actually stunningly beautiful. If I would stop trying to cover myself up and make myself into what I think I'm supposed to be. Who can relate to that experience? Yeah. I think it's a pretty human condition, and part of living with other human beings in a broken world. And so it's been a journey for me, and I think it's a lifelong journey. I don't think we ever arrive. I don't think it's a destination that we get to know who we are. But I think it's a beautiful journey of stepping into more and more and more, finding who we are and discovering that and uncovering the true masterpiece that we really all already are. There's not a person that I've ever met in my life that when they're being their authentic self, I don't just absolutely fall in love with them. The only thing that keeps us kind of like with people is the masks that we wear. You're like, it's hard to connect, you know, it's like this weird experience of like I'm trying to connect with you and I don't really know who you are. And it's these masks that we put on, the things that we wear, the things that we cover ourselves up with to try to connect. What's funny is that underneath it all, we're trying to connect with each other. And then we wear these masks, and that's what actually gets in the way. So we're going to have several experientials throughout the evening that will hopefully connect into your heart, connect into seeing each other. And there's something about being seen by other people in a safe space that really brings healing, that really unlocks more of who we are. So we're going to get to do that. And I love that you guys are each here, and thank you for bringing your hearts. Thank you for bringing yourselves, for offering your time for yourself, first of all, for me and for each other. And I'm really, really excited to see what we create. So, it is, we're going to look at our authentic self. So everybody gets a mirror. And Billy, you can go ahead and play that first song. So it's not very often that we take the time to actually look at ourselves. And we're not trying to get ourselves all ready and presentable and fix something. Where we just look at ourselves. You get to see you right now. Just take yourself in. Does everybody have a mirror? So just hold the mirror up in front of yourself and take yourself in. It's a chance to see you. The authentic you. Just notice what comes up. Notice what's coming up for you. seeing yourself bring joy? Does it connect to rejection? Have you made that rejection into an interpretation that it somehow is some deficiency in you? And it's not good or bad or right or wrong. Whatever it is that's floating to the surface, just let it come up. It's neutral. Just notice. What determinations have you made about yourself? Have you concluded in some way that you're not enough? Or that you're too much? Do the messages that float to the top feel like self-beat up? Do you hear something that sounds like, I really need to something? Or why the heck haven't I? What if you just let any of those things that are coming up be neutral? Just notice if there's any judgment there. And as it comes up, just release it. Like a tide washing up on shore. Let it crash and then flow back out into the ocean. Release any judgment about you. And try this one. But if you see yourself as the masterpiece that you are, try taking yourself in the way that you would if you were walking around a gallery or a famous museum with world-renowned art. If you were at a museum with your favorite artists and you were walking around looking at masterpieces that you've seen in textbooks growing up, like, wow, this is the original. This is from that artist. And then imagine walking up and seeing a painting of you. Yourself in that way. See yourself that way. You're an amazing masterpiece. A work of art that has inspired generation after generation after generation across the continents, been studied and admired and inspired thousands. What if you saw yourself that way every morning when you looked in the mirror? How would that change the way you go into your day? How would that change the way you connect with people? How would that change the way you see and think about yourself? You've been filled with the breath of life. Like if there's a piece of art on a wall and life was breathed into it and it came to life, filled with an ability to love and connect, walking around in the world able to inspire and touch people, able to communicate with words and hugs and connection. How incredibly valuable would that be? How would that change the world if we all stepped into the world like that? You've been designed perfectly and made for a purpose. You're not an accident. Look into your eyes right now. Some of you really need to hear this. You are not an accident. You've been made perfectly and you're loved perfectly. And there's a powerful purpose over your life. Hang on to your mirrors, you can set them down next to you. And if you guys would hand out the clipboards right now, everybody gets a clipboard and a pen. I want you guys to just be thinking right now about what are some of the messages that were coming up for you. That really touched some things for some different people. I'm just going to give you space to write about that right now. So what were some of the most powerful messages that came up? Just write down whatever was floating to the top for you. of you would keep writing, you can keep writing, and I'm going to take sharing from some of you guys. So the invitation is for you guys to share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. So this is a safe space and permission to share or not share all night. And there's an invitation to share because very likely something that you share could be the key that unlocks it for somebody else, inspires something for someone else. And the more that we all vulnerably lean in, the more powerful this experience will be for us. So if there's something that is there for you and you feel like it would benefit either you to share it or somebody else to hear it, I'd love to hear it. Brianna's gonna come around. So Rania first.
My name is Rania, and I am a hairstylist, so I normally see myself in the mirror every day, 100 million times. And it's always like for self-check. My makeup is good, my hair is good, am I smiling, do I look presentable? It's always a self-check from the outside. And today I really am more dived in inside me, and I saw more human, and I start crying because I've never seen myself that way.
I felt the mirror and realized that I never really take the time to look at myself, actually. Like, this is the first time in I can't remember how long when I actually stared at my face. Because I usually don't like to hear myself or to see myself. And it's weird because like, I have a podcast and like I'm building a YouTube channel. I'm like putting myself out there, like just never, I say, I'll record it, I'll do it, then I'll never look at it again. But I realized that, I just never take the time to really just appreciate myself for like who I am and like what I do. I'm always like thinking about the next thing and the next thing that I do, and I'm like I rarely take the time to just like stop and it's like look at how far I've come, like what I've accomplished so far, and just like appreciate that. And that's kind of what came up for me.
My name's Karen, and I look at myself in the mirror every day and tell myself I'm a badass.
Yeah.
So what came up for me tonight was, I'm pretty proud of that face in the mirror. And the other thing that came up was I just bought some really expensive face cream I should probably be using.
My name is Christian. First, when I looked in the mirror, I was like, wow, this is really awkward. Because I don't stare at myself in a mirror for any amount of time. It's like, hair's done, kind of, let's go. Is the line straight? Anyway, but after I got over the awkwardness of staring at myself in the mirror, there was street. You are honest. You are loving. You are powerful. You are a leader. You are getting older. But that's a part of life.
Wiser.
Sure. We'll go that way. You don't have everything figured out just yet, but that's okay because you know where you're going. You're a handsome man, however, you could work on that jawline a bit. You like being you. You have nothing to fear, nothing to prove, and nothing to hide.
Was reminded of, I picked up a mirror at a garage sale for free. I painted it, and stuff, and didn't know where to put it. So on the way out to my house, I saw a perfect wall for it. Put it right next to the door. And it was more than just to check if I combed my hair. It was a reminder of me, like, to connect with people and, like, doubt about myself and if I'm good enough, if I, basically, I've come to accept that I'm not horrible. So, it just remind myself that.
You're just coming in. Someone grab, anybody coming in a clipboard so they can jump in with us.
I'm Erin. I'm loud. For years, I couldn't even look in a mirror without feeling shame and disgust and filth and disrespect for myself. There were years that went by that I didn't even look in the mirror. And if I did, I didn't recognize the person looking back at me. And I looked at myself in the mirror today and thought, holy shit, you're beautiful. You know, like, you're healed, you're growing, and I'm just like, I can't even believe it's the same person. It just keeps getting better and better, and that's incredible and a miracle.
Hello, I'm Stacy, and I've been doing a lot of work on self-love this past year, and I looked in the mirror for the first time and I was like, wow, you're really, really pretty. Like, that was my initial thought, and that is not normally my initial thought. And the longer that I had to sit there and look though, I started just like picking myself apart a little bit, and then I had these conversations in my head about that you're beautifully made and God made you perfect in His image. That same kind of self-talk battle that I've had over the years, and at the end of it, it's just like what I want though is my love for myself and the love that I know God has for me, and listening to you speak and just looking at my reflection and seeing joy and seeing beauty. But the biggest thing is just all the self-love that I've been working on and looking in the mirror for the first time and liking what I see.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm Gabe, and like some of you, I don't look in a mirror. I don't look in a mirror because what I see feels wrong. Feels like everything about my body is completely wrong in this society. I don't feel that God made me perfect. And that's hard as somebody who knows me. It's a struggle that I have. Yeah, so that came up for me.
Thank you for sharing that, Katie.
Good evening, my name's Corey, and this tally is perfectly timed because at lunch today I was having a lot of self-doubt, and I decided I'm just going to write some of my own affirmations of where I am and like encourage myself, and then to have this reflection time in the mirror and see that really sink in. Gives a little bit of tears and time to soak that in, so thank you.
So welcome. Thank you, everybody who shared. A couple more, and then we're going to move on to the next thing.
Hi, I'm Shayna. When I looked in the mirror, I was listening to her say, you're not an accident. And I started thinking, like, maybe I was an accident, but I guess that's okay, you know. And I started feeling anxious because I don't really come to, like, social events, really. I just, like, go to work and stuff. But I was asking myself, like, why
I don't know if you were here when I said that, but I really feel like every single person who's in this room is here for a reason tonight, and there's a beautiful gift for each one of you. Like I just, as I was getting ready, saw like a beautiful wrap, and each one is different and unique, different bows and different tags, and like there's a gift for each one of you guys here tonight. And I'm super excited to watch you unwrap them. Thank you for sharing. So this is kind of a cool quote, and you guys, I feel like are modeling this really beautifully right now. So your story is the alchemy that unlocks someone else's prison. And I feel like as you guys share, like each of you guys are sharing beautifully and vulnerably and what's coming up for you in an authentic way. And that brings connection for us, and that brings an unlocking for each other and yourself. As we share, we bring shame or we bring insecurity or vulnerability into the light. There's something about that that is so healing. When you come out into the light and you receive love in that place, and you receive somebody seeing you for who you are and loving you in that place, it's super powerful. It's healing. I love what you guys are showing up here. Thank you. So the next thing we're going to start talking about is, so in order to step into authenticity, it's about looking at what gets in the way of that. And we kind of touched on it a little bit, but so there's our authentic self, our true self, who we've been made to be and who we most authentically are, like the way that we've been created to be in the world. And then because of pain, because of living in a broken world, because of living around broken people, and we get hurt. And so there are masks that come up, and when we presented our authentic self and it's been not received, or it's been rejected, or it's been, our hearts have been trampled on in some way or another, or somebody said something really hurtful, or we like brought an idea that we were really excited about and got shut down, or we were like just being really free in ourselves and somebody made fun of us. And there's so many different ways that it happens, but when that happens, like walls go up and masks go on, and we go, oh, like being that isn't okay in the world. Like I'm never gonna do that again. I'm never gonna be like that again. And we create an interpretation in that moment. So somebody throws something out, and the message that we hear is whatever it is, I'm not enough, or like I'm way too much, I gotta like dim it way down, or I'm not lovable, or I'm not beautiful, or my voice doesn't matter. Like somebody throws something out there, and then we actually go and we pick that thing up and we wear it, and we create an interpretation. Maybe it's not even what the person meant. We might have like created that, interpreted it, however we interpreted it, but we wear it then. We wear that thing, and we often will walk around with these masks on. And the very thing that we most truly want, connection with other people, and to be our authentic self, we end up not being able to connect because we've got this mask on. And so the next exercise we're going to do is an experiential one, where we're going to like get up and actually out of our seats and mingle around and have an experience of trying to connect with a mask on. But before we do that, Amanda, would you write? I want you guys to throw out some possible masks. So ways that we wear masks. Can you guys think of some, either that you have or that you see out in the world? Like, what are some masks that we wear? Jason?
Just want to appear likable.
Yeah, I'm really a likable guy. Look how likable I am.
Seriously.
Let me be likable, so you like me. Yeah. What else?
Whoa, act like we don't care.
Empathy, yeah. I don't care. Fine. Totally fine. Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm always happy.
Always happy. Pollyanna. Let's play the glad game. Steph? I got this. I got this. Totally. I got this. It's good, like busy. Yeah. I'm pretty important. I'm pretty busy. Too busy for you.
I'm thinking like alcohol or drugs.
Yeah, alcohol and drugs. So there are two kinds of masks that I see. There might be more, but either let me put this on so that I get my needs met. So we all have core longings that we are made to have filled, and we will do whatever it takes to get those things filled because we're made to have them filled. things like belonging, things like love, worth, connection. There are a lot of them, but so either we're wearing a mask because we think it's going to get us those things, or we wear a mask to protect ourselves and keep ourselves from pain. And sometimes we flip back and forth between the two. So what else? Any other ideas? Humor, totally. Hide behind the mask of humor. Yeah, makes me think of Robin Williams. You know, like always so funny, and yet so much pain going on underneath.
I would just say people pretend that they're successful.
Yeah, successful. I'm really successful, so you respect me would maybe be belonging underneath that.
Self-deprecation, where you throw yourself under the bus before somebody else.
Yeah, I'll beat myself up before you get to it, and then you'll stay off me. Yeah, sure. I'm guilty of that one. Any other ones? About people pleasing, that would be one of mine. Let me just make you really happy so that you like me. People pleasing perfectionism is another one. Okay, if I can figure out the game, what is it that gets approval and attention and people liking me, and I will do that. So for me, that's perfectionism. That's what I call it. Go with the flow, yeah. It doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna go with it. I don't care that much. Just go with whatever comes. Awesome. Kevin, will you and Alexa and Brianna hand out the masks? You guys actually get to have masks and the Sharpies that are back there with it. And so I want you guys to think about some of the masks that you wear. So go ahead and flip to the next page. And go ahead and write down, so as we're kind of brainstorming these, what are the ones that landed for you? Yep, I totally resonate with that one, or that's me. And there might be other ones that weren't mentioned. What are the masks that you wear? Think about some of those and just write down some of your thoughts on that.
I will have to explain to me later what you're exactly talking about. Oh, with these?
Yeah, what's next? Anything in this thing? I couldn't think of their name. Yo.
Just be careful not to get Sharpie on their beautiful furniture or your clothes. So just write on your piece of paper some of the masks that you wear, the ones you connect to. We have a Sharpie share situation, so just share. There are markers for every couple people to have one to share with your buddy next to you. So maybe circle on your paper one or two that you feel like are most landing for you. A couple of the masks that you feel like you wear most often or seem to really fit the best for you. And then just write that on your mask. You actually write it with a Sharpie on your mask. It doesn't have to be on this list. It can be any mask that you feel like you wear. That's just to kind of get you started and think about it, get you moving on. It's really anything that you do that protects you from hurt and pain. It might be defensiveness, anger, like freaking get off my back, I'll just blow up at you. That'll be a mask that I wear. Could be ones that are you're trying to get something, a need met, but it's not your authentic self. Or maybe it's like sort of part of your authentic self, but there's a real forcing behind it. And if you've already written on your mask, just pass your marker down because not everybody has yet. So after you get clear on one or two or a few masks that you feel like you wear most often, go ahead and write it on your mask with a Sharpie, and then pass your Sharpie along to somebody else. Bill, you can turn the music up a little bit if you want, because we're gonna go around here in just a second, and we're gonna do a mingle. So you can put your notebook in your mirror, your pen down, where you're sitting, and stand up. You're gonna, in just a second, stand up and you're gonna put your mask on. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk around and stand in front of one person. And I want you to look at them in the eyes. Read what's on their mask. Don't say anything. Just stand and look at each other. Don't touch. Don't talk. You're just going to stand across from one person and look at them. And then I'll say switch, and then find somebody else and stand in front of them. And just look into each other's eyes. Read the mask, and then we'll switch. I'll just say switch whenever it's time to switch. So go ahead and stand up when you have your mask written on. Make sure your caps are in your marker. And we're going to do this silently. So without talking, Bill, you can just turn the music up louder.
If you have markers, we still have people that haven't written yet, so keep holding them up and we'll collect them.
You can keep going on the last song that you were on, Bill. Cool. This is awesome, you guys. Thanks for leaning into this with me. So just look at the person next to you and read what's on their mask. And without talking, without connecting or touching or laughing, just look at each other in the eyes. Find somebody to stand across from. So if you have your mask written on, go ahead and stand up and find somebody to stand across from. And just notice what's coming up for you. How connected do you feel? And switch partners. Find somebody new. And switch partners. Just silently look across at the other person. If you don't have a partner, raise your hand and you guys can find each other. I know it's a little hard to see through your mask. And switch partners. And let it sink in right now. This is how you show up in life. These masks that you wear, it's how you interact with people. Or if you turn around, Alex is across from you. He doesn't have a partner. And switch. So just like the mirror, embrace any awkwardness that's coming up for you, because it's there to bring freedom, actually. So silently just stand across from someone, read the mask, experience your own mask. Just let whatever's coming up, let it come up, and switch. And we all wear masks. There's not anybody that doesn't. We all have the things that we do to keep ourselves safe, the things that we do to get our needs met. This is just part of being human. And switch. Just know that behind the mask of the person across from you is a beautiful masterpiece, an amazing human being longing to be loved, the same way that you are, longing to be seen and known, the same way that you are. Okay, you guys can find your seats. Bill, you can keep playing that. Your notebook quietly and your pen. Find a piece of paper that talks about masks and just free write. What is your experience? What's coming up for you? What are you noticing about yourself? What was that experience like for you? This is all to get at freedom. This is all to get at freedom from the masks that we wear. And if we don't look at the masks we wear, if we're never honest with ourselves about it, then we can't get free from it. Really seeing the authentic self and really seeing the masks that you wear, getting honest about that, that's what's going to break you into the freedom that you want. It's the invitation into living in joy, and authenticity and connection, and all the things that we're made for. So just write what you're noticing. It's our self-talk that generates the masks that we wear. It's the interpretations that we have of painful experiences that make us think we have to wear these masks in order to survive. If you're writing, you can keep writing. And we're also going to start taking sharing from anybody that wants to share about that, anything that you want to share about that. Vinny.
So my name is Vinny.
My name is Vinny. And this was actually really powerful for me because I had been wearing so many masks. It was actually kind of a challenge for me to even want to write something down because I feel like I've shed so many masks. But it was really, really challenging and really painful for me to want to even put this back on because I have grown in so much connection with people. And I couldn't connect, like I saw that other person. I anticipated how they would feel wearing this mask, and I couldn't empathize at all because of this mask. And normally when I get connected, like super connected, I have like a surge of energy, and it would start and it shut off every single time when I shifted to every single person. The other thing that really resonated for me was seeing my own reflection in the other person's eyes. I saw that mask, right? Like, almost like I didn't know who that person was. And so I was afraid of what I could become or who I was in the past, whatever that was, but I was just afraid of looking at that other image of who I was showing up to be in that moment.
Well, you can keep that last song going if you want.
Sorry. Okay, so this is Stacy, and that was one of the most powerful exercises I've ever done. I hated it. I hated it because it was really uncomfortable. It was the most uncomfortable I think I have actually felt with these people that I love. There's a lot of people in this room that I'm really, really connected to. Sharita is like somebody that I would choose to be my mom. And when she had that mask on and I could only see half of your eyes, I wanted to like grab you, but I felt like unsafe. It felt so unsafe and vinny. It was like I couldn't, the energy, like you were saying, it was so blocked off. I felt alone. I felt really alone. And I also noticed that there's something really common that we're all really pretending that we're okay and we got this. And that was a theme that I saw in every single person's mask, is that I got this. And connection is something so healing and something that we need so much. And yeah, like I couldn't wait for it to end, but it was one of the most powerful, profound exercises I've ever done.
Thank you for that feedback.
So for me, obviously like everybody else, it seemed to be genuinely uncomfortable. One of the things that actually came up for me is the feeling of the ease of wearing a mask every day. The other person doesn't know that we're wearing a mask. But to put that on your face and literally tell the other people basically your secrets, like, so you know, hey, when I'm defensive, or when I'm passive, or when I'm being uncomfortably funny, hey, just so you know, that's me putting on a mask. Like, so it just felt so different. When the other person doesn't know about it, it's comfortable.
Right.
But when the other person knows about it, and now knows kind of your little, your secrets, it's vulnerable, for sure.
My name is Lisa, and I guess to kind of tag to that was that there was an overwhelming sense where I wanted the other person to take their mask off. I saw those words and then I looked in their eyes and I'm like, no, that's not. And so at first it was like, please take the mask off. And then it was like, and then I realized I was wearing a mask and I wanted to just take it off. I wanted to erase what I wrote and say, no, that's not me. And so, yeah.
That's exactly what this is made to do. I love that, Sharon. Thank you.
My experience of it was that the masks made each of us invisible. So we all became the same, except for the writing that we put on the mask. And it reminded me of an experience that I had often last year. For those of you who don't know, my husband recently passed. And for the first few months, Tracy had cancer. I would go to Kroger and cry. I would walk around Kroger just because I was there getting prescriptions. And people would not. I could walk through Kroger just like this, and people would just be completely oblivious on purpose. It made them so uncomfortable that they chose. I essentially became invisible because I was vulnerable. And this reminded me a lot of that.
My name is Rania, so it was intense.
Yeah.
I wanted to scream when I wore the mask. I was recovering exhausted I was, and I'm tired physically. And I started living the pain, the truth. And the society, like how you need to look for your job, for your family, for your kids, for your friends, and it just forces you to look in a certain way. Even if you don't feel that way, you just have to be that way. And I just discovered how tired I was. I'm just like, can I just be tired? And I'm afraid to look negative. Because people are like, you have to stay positive. Because otherwise you're not going to have friends. Nobody will want to be around you. You need to influence your children. You need to influence the world. So it was intense for me. And I discovered there was so many masks, not just one. And the thing that I even like feel like it's me. A lot of it, even my contract, some of it actually a mask that I need to remind myself that I need to look that way because I'm supposed to be that way.
One thing that came up for me is just how much, I think to echo what you said earlier, is about how you really wanted to just know the person behind the mask and then realized how much everybody else probably felt the same way about me wearing that mask. It's really just great to have authentic relationships, and putting on masks prevents that. You can't have an authentic relationship if you're not there. And so that's rough.
How many of you guys experience having that experience with wearing the mask and connect more now to like, okay, I can see more now where I wear that mask, and then sometimes when I feel safe enough I can let it down, but then I get in another situation and it goes back up. And you can see yourself kind of, and I think for people who have found communities that feel safe for them, you find so much joy there because there's that freedom to not have the mask up all the time. When you can take it down and like, for some of us that's like in our family, or some of us that's like the place you wear your mask the most, where you have like the most amount of them, you gotta trade them on. But where you have the safest places for you, you can feel the freedom when you can take the mask down, even if it's just for moments here and there, and then maybe it goes back up. But I think a lot of the journey is about recognizing what are the masks that I wear, what are the prices that I pay. Look at the prices that we pay for wearing masks. Unable to empathize, fear, discomfort, feeling deeply alone, unsafe, vulnerable, intense, longing to know people behind their mask, and longing to be known behind yours, feeling invisible and exhausted and wanting to scream. I mean, that is, I think so many of us can relate with so many of those. And thank you for leaning into that uncomfortable place, because it's when we do that we find the most freedom. Like, that was an intense exercise, and it was meant to be, because as far as you go into that, that's how much joy you're going to experience on the other side of it. So, after break, we're going to come back, and I'm super excited to share with you one of the most healing, most powerful experiences for me. It's a closed eye visualization exercise and connection with Source. And I want to say that whatever place you're in spiritually, whatever you believe about God or like who God is, that's really, really okay. It's safe for you to be here in this space. What in the heck's going on? Is it okay? Yeah, okay. It's safe for you to be here believing whatever you believe on whatever part of your journey you're on spiritually. And you're going to have a chance to connect with something though that's really powerful. It's really beautiful, it's really healing, and I'm super excited about what each one of you guys are going to get in that. So we're going to take, about a 10-minute break, grab some food, like take a deep breath, hug somebody, meet somebody, grab some water, and we'll come back for that exercise in just a few minutes. 10 to be exact. Deep breath in. You guys are doing really good work. I'm super impressed with everybody, how you're leaning in and being honest. It's beautiful. So on your clipboards, there is a page for writing a letter to you, to our authentic self and let that in. And then we've been talking about our false self, or the masks that we wear, our ego conversations, the things that get in the way of beautiful connection with yourself and with other people. And I wanted to share, oh, it's on the back of your page, sorry. On the back of the page that we were writing about masks. So the page that we were writing down, the masks that you resonated with, turn that over. We're gonna write a letter on the back of that. And it's gonna be a letter to your false self. So, when I was starting to realize that I had all these masks that I wore, and I started getting in touch with it a little bit the way that we were here, where just like, oh, like I wanted to take this off. And for me, when I started seeing my masks and started recognizing that that isn't the authentic me, that's this false thing I put up to be liked or to be, to feel accepted or to have approval. I started getting, it was like the self-beat-up mask came up. It was like I was really irritated when I would see it come up in interactions with people. I was like, it was anger really that was coming up for me toward myself. And it was like kind of contemptuous, like, oh, fucking perfectionism again, dang it. It was just, I don't know what it was, but it was like, I was turning it inward. It was a kind of self-beat-up experience. And then there was something that happened, and I think I was praying or journaling or something like that. And something started to soften where I was like, oh, that's there because I just wanted to be safe. Like that was actually in service of me. That was meant to be in my protection. Like that came up to keep me safe, or that came up to connect me, or that came up to give me something that I really deeply long for and I'm made to have. And it became like, I don't know, in a way, just something shifted where I had compassion toward that part of myself. And it was really, really powerful experience. And I ended up writing a letter to my false self. And it included a lot of the different things that, like we wrote on our masks. So a lot of the different ways that that shows up for me. And you can just keep that same song going, Bill, through this whole exercise. So I wrote a letter to, and I wrote false self, or dear false self, something like that. And then I just wrote a thank you, in a way. Thank you for all the ways in my whole life you've tried to keep me safe. For the way that you showed up, you know, with friends, with bullies, and I could think of some different examples of like when that mask first showed up in my life, and then how I could start to see how I walked in that for years, and how in some ways it was serving me, but I just didn't want it anymore. Like what I really wanted was to live out of my authentic self, and I could start to see the contrasting difference. And so it was like a thank you and a farewell letter all in one. And it had that graceful, forgiving acceptance of that part of me and permission to just like not show up anymore. I don't actually need and want you in my life anymore. I so appreciate you for all that you've tried to do, and I have something else that's going to protect me instead. And for me, that was a relationship with God. I just saw how God really wanted to come in and be that for me in a way that I had tried to be that for myself that wasn't working. I could see all the prices I was paying for it, the disconnection with myself, the disconnection with other people, that sense of being alone, actually. I could see all the ways that it wasn't working anymore. I don't know if it actually ever did, but it felt like it kind of did. When I was in like real pain, it showed up in a way that felt like it helped for a while. And then it started actually to hurt my life more than it was helping. And when I got clear on that, I was like, I don't want you in my life anymore. But I appreciate what you tried to do. So that letter was incredibly healing for me. And so I just want to give you guys space to write to that mask that you wore and the things that are represented on that mask, so that you don't have to resist and hate that part of yourself, but embrace and then let go of it. So, time to write, whatever comes up. Dear false self, or to my ego, or the masks that I wear, and then whatever it is that comes up for you. If you don't have a pen or a clipboard, raise your hand, we'll get that.
So I love this letter, and I also started just by thanking my mask because it has really served me for a really long time. But it served me when I didn't have the tools that I needed. And I love my mask because they took away physical pain in those moments, but it was temporary because then it would just come flooding back. So now that I have the tools and I have God in my life, it's powerful. But at the same time, it's a learning process as well to just really choose to let those go, because it's liberating, because I'm actually making the choice to no longer use them.
Vinny, Talie, if I actually may share the letter. Dear false self, you are my ego, the defense to my divine greatness. For so long I've been striving to truly become in tune with God, but you've kept me away from Him. You have etched God out of my life. I cannot have both at the same time. I'm now aware of the prices I pay, my relationships with myself and others. I recognize that you, ego, have protected me from the relationships in the past. Bullies, my father, my mother, my girlfriend. Ego, I am grateful for your services. You have created extraordinary results. But I am now ready to create legendary results. With God in my life, I am excited to see His blessings.
I just want to laugh at that. If there's a way to keep the music going with the vibration, there's kind of a buzzy something's going on. If you can do both, awesome. No, it's okay. Anybody else want to hear anything, Bill?
This is so good because I just had a conversation at the soccer store with this gentleman that was serving, and I realized that I'm still in the conversation away, and it was the focus was on me instead of finding out what he was doing and interested in. So this is a time to say goodbye. I don't want to grab all of the conversation anymore by bragging, but instead lean into knowing others and see where they are and how I can encourage them in their life. I'm ready to get off the spotlight. I've been blessed with many abilities and gifts, and it's time for me to walk into a place of joy and let self-doubt and trying to prove I'm better go, because I'm perfect and no one else needs to know me.
Not really sure what this means, but take it for what you take it for. Over the last year or so with the Tracy's illness, and I really do have other things in my life besides that, but it was such a learning experience. I have always been a person who wears that mask. What I've learned during this is that I am fine. I can be broken and fine. I can be sobbing and okay. I can be, and I'm always okay, even when I'm here talking.
It's really interesting. I think a lot of times, like what Karen just said, as I was thinking through it, and like the masks I wear, sometimes it is my authentic self, but it's this really forced version of it, where it's this version of it that has to be that all the time. Like, the I'm fine is a huge one for me, and my buddy and I were just talking, Brianna, and my friend, and she's like, wait, what? You just got in a car accident last week and totaled your car, and I don't even know about it? Like, what the heck? Like, that's like kind of you being I'm fine, huh? And I was like, yeah, that is. Like, we're like, I've got stuff that needs to get done and stuff going on, so I'm fine and moving on. And like pretending like, I mean, it's romantic and evening to not go out and do anything and stay home, go to bed early, drink a lot of water. It's like, okay, now that's enough and I'm fine and there's stuff that's got to be done and moving on. So I think there is a version of like our authentic self, right? Like I really am fine, but sometimes the mask comes out like, I'm fine. Like it's like this really forced version of like my authentic self really is confident and loves myself, but there's an inauthentic version of that comes out that's like this over, like I'm so confident, and you know it's like a force, it's like an over something. I don't know. I think sometimes it's some version of our authentic self that can come out in an authentic way, or it's not consistently true all the time, or like I am fine a lot of the time, and sometimes I'm really angry, and sometimes I'm really sad, and being okay with that rather than like I have to be fine all the time. So yeah, I think there's something really true about that. Thanks for being my great buddy.
I really didn't write much, but the very thing that we got to protect me, like from other people, I feel like, I don't know, leave you feeling kind of like you're isolating yourself. You can't really like be yourself because people just feel like they're gonna like judge you or something like that. But
Does it feel like you're a supportive person, so you always have to be in that role, like you can't be supportive? Is that what you're getting at?
yeah, I feel like a lot of times I'll end up like being like trying to like rescue other people or whatever, and then I feel like my needs don't get met. So it's kind of just, you know, it's good that I like confront that, because now I can just like do more for myself and not feel bad or like selfish, like putting myself around others.
I resonate with that one. That was really true for me too. Anybody else? Okay, cool. You guys can put your notebooks and pens down and get as comfortable as you can. Actually, if you want to, lay down on the floor back there, up here, or slouch down in your seat, or be somewhere else in the space. That's totally great if you do that. We're going to have about 20 to 25 minutes of doing closed eye exercise. There's 4 chairs back there that are really comfy. We're being one of these so that you have the space that you want to get comfortable. I feel like we're at a big slumber party right now. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. And this is all about you getting a message of truth in the place of those lies over yourself, the things that were coming up when you first looked in the mirror that were, whatever they were, that weren't connected to your authentic self. They were shame, or it was insecurity, or fear, or dissatisfaction, or rejection, whatever it was that was coming up, whatever those things that you picked up along the way, in the places of pain that you wear as masks, those inauthentic places of you. So we've had a chance to notice all of that tonight, and see it come up and feel it. We've had beautiful sharing, tears of releasing, a letter of letting go. And now it's time to have a message of truth over who you are. And I just invite you to open up to something maybe new. Maybe this is something that's familiar to you, or maybe this is something new. And whatever works for you is great. And if I say something that doesn't work for you, like just let it kind of like float by you. Take what you like and just leave whatever doesn't work. So for me, this experience has been a very spiritual one. This is something I've done probably hundreds of times now, and has by far been the most powerful, most healing, most beautiful, life-giving experiences that I've ever had. And this is work that I do with some of my clients who are open to this. So I do coaching around goal setting and getting in action around things, but a lot of times we get stuck, and it's because we have those masks that we wear, we have lies that we believe, limiting beliefs that are there, and the clients that do this work, they break through those things really quickly, and they create massive results in their life, and it's all from a place of knowing who we are. And so this is a really powerful way of hearing more about who you most authentically are. So take a deep breath in right now. And notice any places in your body that you're holding tension, that you're carrying stress. Just notice them and exhale out of them. So as you breathe in, notice the stress, and as you exhale, just release it. Another deep breath in, and notice any places that you're carrying tension in your emotions, that you're holding stress, and exhale that out. Like as you breathe out, just let it go. You can see yourself, visualize seeing the tension that's there, the stresses, the things that you have to handle, and almost like see yourself setting them on a shelf right now that represents like, I'm gonna make an appointment to worry about that another day, not right now. Right now I'm gonna be present. Right now I'm gonna open myself to a beautiful message about me, to an experience of connection with my source. For some of us that is represented as a great creator. For some of us that might be a father figure that comes to you. For some of us it might be some sense of like spirit and light or wind or whisper. Depending on your faith background, maybe it's Jesus or a healer. Whoever shows up for you in this experience, it's going to be perfect. So I want you right now to just allow your mind to drift to a place that feels really safe for you. And maybe this is a place that you've been to before. Maybe this is some place that you used to go to when you were a child, that you felt really safe. Maybe it's a place you've been to on vacation somewhere that's just really beautiful and refreshing. Or maybe it's someplace you've never been, but you imagine going there and you've seen pictures of it. You just imagine that it would be incredibly beautiful. So just let your mind drift to that place right now and begin to engage your senses with that place. Really see the beauty that's there. Notice the color and the light and the texture and movement. Let yourself see all the details. Notice the sounds that are around you. Breathe in the smells that are there. And notice what you feel, maybe under your feet or to your touch. And notice what you feel emotionally. Notice how safe you feel in that place. And drink in the beauty. Take a deep breath in. Just let all of it fill you. to just invite God, whoever God is for you, into that space with you. And notice how God comes to you. Maybe it's a breeze on your face. Maybe it's the embrace of a perfect Father. Maybe it's loving eyes gazing into yours. Just let it be whatever it is for you. Maybe it's joyful and playful. Maybe it's powerful. Just lean into it and experience it fully. This is where that beautiful gift comes to you. Just open your hands and receive the gift that's there waiting for you. There's a message with it. There's something that God wants to whisper into your heart. Just listen for it. What's the message that you most need to hear right now? It's the truth about who you are. Let it in. Let yourself believe it. This is truth for you. It's a gift for you. This is a message from the one who loves you perfectly. One who sees you. One who has the most beautiful gifts for you. Take a deep breath in and let that message in right now. Let it resonate around inside you, inside your mind, inside your heart, inside your body. Let it fill you. This is what's true. This is what's true. life change if you were connected to this reality? Who would you be for yourself and for others if you lived at this place? Take a deep breath in. And as quietly as possible, come on back over to this space. I know we could stay in that place for a really long time. When I do this with clients, it's an hour long, and there's so much that comes up. So it's a little bit different doing it in a group and with our time restrictions, but I really trust that everybody got something there. Brianna, if you want to bring the microphone around, I would love to hear some of what you guys were getting. Would like to share. You're like, I just want to stay there. Do I have to come out of that? Raise your hand if that was powerful for you. You experienced something there. You heard something, sensed something. I saw hands. Is that you, Lisa? Were you raising your hand to share?
It was almost like I could hear it so clear, like when I hear myself speaking. And it was, you don't have to be perfect. I'm perfect. Jesus was there for me. He said, you don't have to be perfect. I love you exactly the way you are, and I'm so excited to share you with the world.
I'm Sharita. I felt so much peace and love. So during that time, I was really trying to relax and forget about everything and really go there. So when you said, I was relaxed and enjoying my beach scene and everything, and then when I opened myself up to God, it was like this rush of light and warmth, and I felt the embrace. And I was looking at the light, you said, open your hand. So I opened my hand, and it even got even brighter. And there wasn't anything there, it was just this light. It was so beautiful. You said it was a message for me. It was like, this is you. You are me. You are me. That was really powerful. I always see the light in others. But I've seen it in me.
Sorry for not bringing tissues. That was a total oversight.
Mine was different. I was in the woods. Every time I go into a state like that, I end up in the woods. And every time I go into the woods, I look for my mother. And I miss my mom a lot. And we didn't have a very good relationship when she was alive, so I just long for that relationship. But this is the first time I've actually been in her. She's been in my face, you know? And this, the message is pride. You know, like, I'm finally doing something right, and she's proud. You know? I could stay in this woods forever with her.
was a young kid on this farm, and it was a really tiny little small farmhouse that was completely falling apart, and we were super poor. And there was these days that there's this path through the woods, and no matter what time of day it was, no matter what time of year it was always freaking dark. Always dark that time. And I went there. I went to this really dark path, which was strange. It wasn't exactly the safest place in the world. There were other really ugly things that happened that time in my life. But when you would walk out of the woods, you would come up into this clearing. And there was this one day where I was running from something and came to this clearing. And it was like I could hear all of, so there's the rocks and the trees and everything else cry out, and there's this chorus that goes along all the time in the beginning. And I heard it for an instant. And it's this beautiful chorus, and the stars were there, and it was the most beautiful experience of my life, and that's where I went. That was the safe place. And then I was dancing with someone. I'm a big guy. Dancing is weird for me. But it was beautiful and graceful. Then this like, when the gift came down, it was this big ball of wood that turned into a child. That then turned into some words. And one of the only things that I'm looking forward to at this point is to be a father. And that, I think that the opportunity is passion. And the opportunities, whatever they are, they haven't passed you by. They're still there, they're still relevant, they're still valid. It's your dream. Just do it. Just go. Open your heart, become vulnerable, find the path, whatever it is. Because it's still there. It doesn't die, it just may change shape just a little bit. Let's not fall so much in love with how we're going to get to the destination that we forget to how to get to that destination. We're all going to get there. Just, you don't have to have everything figured out along the way. So yeah, that was pretty powerful.
Probably have time for one more, Stacy. Okay, two more. Stacy and Amanda. I want to hear everybody's. I would love to sit here all night and listen to all of your experiences.
Okay. I've done this with TALIE before, and it was a different experience, but what I love is God is so faithful that He always shows up in some way, shape, or form. And He showed up to a lot of you guys. This time it was like this ball of light as He was coming in, and I felt warmth. And it was a different feeling than I felt before, but it was so embracing. And as he came closer, it was Jesus, and He was walking up to me on the beach, and I was like looking over the water. And the gift that He gave me is that, Stacey, you're absolutely enough, and that I have every one of your desires. And He's told me this a lot lately, and He keeps reminding me with a chuckle that I don't have to worry about anything, that He has it all taken care of, and all I need to do is just be still and breathe.
Hello, I'm Amanda. I've actually been doing these sessions with TALIE since October. And the funny thing is, when I do them, it's almost like a little movie. It picks up where it left off the last time. So the last time I had a session was only about a week ago. And it's an hour-long one of these. So I encourage everybody to at least try it out. And the last time I was getting off the train onto this hill in Italy, which is where I'll be in 2 weeks. But I was on this hill with a lot of wildflowers, and so this kind of picked up right there. And I was dressed all in white, had a flower crown, flowy white outfit on, and I was just celebrating being alive. And then I saw some people in my life celebrating with me, dancing around the hill. And a lot of different thoughts came in, so I'm just going to share some of the basics. There toward the end, I was trying to focus on the message that God was giving to me. And let's not read into this, but He gave me a baby. And then I started thinking about it. It made my mind jump back to when I was younger. And I stood up for something within my family, and I felt like that divided my family. And so with that physical baby was also the message that I'm going to heal my family, and I'm a connector, not a divider, and that I'm a light and a blessing. And that's how it ended, just that joy of accepting who I am in God's eyes.
Can I share too?
Sure, one more. What's one more, huh?
Well, I think it's interesting that everyone like saw like a ball of light, because I saw that too. But growing up, like I was like in an abusive environment, so I always felt like if I ever had kids, like I wouldn't really know like how to I guess connect with them or something. And I heard when I saw that, I heard that I was worthy, and then I saw it more. So I thought it was really interesting that you saw a child too. But yeah, like it was really cool.
Aren't you glad you came out tonight? Got out of your comfort zone. Met some new beautiful people who I think would love to stay in connection. Oh, deep breath in. Why don't we all take a deep breath in? And just in gratitude, just thankful. Just be in that place of gratitude right now. Close your eyes and just in thankfulness for the gifts that you got, for the words that were spoken to you, for the treasures that you had to take away from this place tonight, for the connection that you got to have with you, the beautiful, amazing, authentic you, and the connection you got to have with the amazing masterpieces that are sitting next to you and around you in this room. What a gift. Take a deep breath in. And if you'll get out your notebook, there's one more piece of paper. And it's just, I think, really powerful when you have a beautiful experience to just write down some of the key takeaways for you. So we're going to take about 5 minutes right now. Because so much happened tonight, so many different places that we went to. And it's really powerful for you to be able to just synthesize that into a few key takeaways for yourself, to connect to it. put her right there in that bin. So paper so you can keep all your stuff and take it with you and get it in clipboards. Actually, keep your mirrors. So if you're done writing, raise your hand and we'll give you a Sharpie. Awesome. And you can get your mirror back out. And you're going to write on your mirror one powerful thing that was spoken over you tonight or that you really got about your authentic self. And just write that on your mirror. One powerful takeaway that you feel like is true of your authentic self that represents not the mask, but the true you. We had the experience of the disconnection when we had our masks on, trying to connect with someone through the lens of our false self, and how that doesn't work very well. It's really hard to connect deeply. And now you guys, I feel like, are in a space as a group where the masks are down, you guys are being beautifully real, connected to your authentic self, having had a beautiful experience of hearing more of who you truly are, and then the experience that we get to have of living out of that place is so beautiful. So now, when you look in the mirror, you have something really special to connect to. Anybody need a Sharpie? So go ahead and take a second and think about some of the beautiful truth that you got tonight about your authentic self, or something that you connected to. Maybe you already knew it, but you connected to it in a new or beautiful way. You feel connected to it right now. So write that on your mirror, and we're going to do another mingle where we get to go around and really see each other without the masks. We get to see the beautiful, authentic, amazing masterpieces that we're surrounded by. So write something on your mirror. We're going to take the mirror and we're going to have that with us when we do our mingle. You're going to get to stand across from each other. You're going to get to read what's written on the mirror. The real, authentic. Somebody has a Sharpie.
Can you say one more time what goes on the mirror?
Yeah. So write on your mirror something that you connected to about your authentic self tonight that is true of you, that touched you, that meant something to you. It might have been something to do with the gift that you got in that last exercise, or something that was whispered over your heart, or something that you're just seeing really clearly about yourself that you love and appreciate, that you want to live out of in the mornings. And just take a second, even if it's 10 seconds or a minute or whatever it is, and look at yourself in that mirror and connect to something that you got tonight. Connect to the authentic you. And then live your day out of that place of connection to who you most truly are. It's beautiful. I do this, not every morning, but I do this a lot of times. I'll take just a second and look in my own eyes and appreciate who it is God's made me to be. And enjoy what's there to give away. So, I want you guys to look at your yourselves in the mirror again right now. I want you to see what you wrote on the mirror. I want you to feel right now, are you experiencing more connection with you than when you first looked at it, when you first came in? You feel more authentically connected to you. Do you feel a greater sense of connection to people in the room? Do you feel a greater sense of freedom and joy? So look at how beautiful you are, the masterpiece that you are. Like bloodshot eyes and makeup all, cried off, whatever it is. Beautiful, beautiful. So right now we're gonna get up, we're gonna flip our mirror around so that we see each other's. I want you in just a second to stand up and stand across from someone and read each other's mirror and then look at each other's eyes. You can reach out and touch hands or hug or whatever it is that you feel connected to. And when you see what's written on their mirror, if you see that reflected in their eyes, affirm that. Like, yes, you are, whatever it is it says on the mirror. Or I see that in you. Something that. So go ahead and find a partner and read their mirror. Enjoy connection. Raise your hand if you don't have a partner so you guys can find each other. Raise your hand high if you don't have a partner across from you so you can find someone. Read each other's mirror, take a minute and look at each other's eyes, connect.